Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Boxing Pick, the premier destination of boxing picks. My name is Hisham, and together with my partner Stephen Breadman Edwards, we will be breaking down the upcoming fight between Ryan Garcia and Oscar Duarte to see where we can find the most value. Before I'm joined by my partner, let's go through the odds for this week. Ryan Garcia is a minus 400 favorite. Oscar Duarte priced at plus 300.
I am joined now. I am joined now by my partner, Stephen Breadman Edwards. How are you, Stephen?
I'm good. How you doing today, brother?
I'm good, thank you. This weekend we have Ryan Garcia versus Oscar Duarte. Ryan Garcia is a minus 400 favorite. Oscar Duarte is plus 300. This is an interesting match, Stephen.
Yes, it is.
This
Yes,
will
it is.
be Ryan Garcia's first fight back after his loss to Gervonta Davis earlier this year.
All fights are interesting after a guy loses for the first time and he gets stopped. Because it's not just a physical thing, it's a mental thing of overcoming that and being able to deal with everything that comes with the loss and the public and the ridicule and the self-esteem and the confidence. So
Mm.
and it seems like Ryan Garcia is having some issues with his promoter. So it should be an interesting fight.
Yes, yes. What do you think about him having his new coach, Derek James? Do you think that's a good match?
Let's wait to see. I love Derek James though. I think he's a great coach. I don't buy into the um the fact that he forgot the coach. He forgot how to coach because Jamel Charlo lost to Canelo Alvarez and Earl Spence lost to Terrence Crawford. Those were the two first big championship fights that Derek has ever lost. So I
Of
still think
course.
he's a great coach. He just went up against all-time great Hall of Fame level fighters, and if you go up against
Yeah.
enough of them, you're gonna lose fights. Eddie Futch lost fights. Angelo Dundee lost fights. You'll lose eventually. So I still think he's a
Everybody
great
takes
coach.
losses at the highest level, right?
Yeah, so I don't know how he's gonna fit with Ryan. I haven't seen him work, but I still think he's an excellent coach.
Stephen, in Ryan Garcia's last fight against Gervonta Davis, I personally thought that he started the fight very well. First round and half of the second round. I thought he was doing really good.
I disagree. I think that just because he was like throwing a bunch of punches you know, and looking aggressive, I think that he should have
Yeah.
fought a smarter fight. I think that he should have used his jab. He should have allowed himself to get warmed up. Um, I think he shouldn't have showed Gervonta Davis so early. I think he should have tried to put some rounds in the bank and kind of not
Hmm.
rush things. It's not a 3 round amateur fight. It's a 12 round professional fight. And Gervonta Davis
Hmm.
is really good at timing fighters. And I thought that Ryan Garcia rushed himself and was a little bit immature with his approach.
Well, that's an interesting point. Yes, I just meant that he wasn't showing Gervonta any respect, and it looked like Gervonta was just a little bit uncomfortable just for a second before he figured out what to do. But you are right; it's a 12-round fight, and maybe he was a little bit too anxious to try to hurt
Little,
him.
little bit too much too early.
Yeah.
He got caught with a big shot, and I believe it was the second round. Devontae got his time in, and Ryan is a lot longer. He's a hell of a boxer. He has an educated left hand. I just feel like that he just did too much too early, and he just,
Mm.
he walked into the sawmill.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just didn't think he had to fight like that early. It wasn't like he was losing. He could have showed a little bit more patience. You gotta have a little
Yes.
bit more patience and composure at that level, and that's something that Tank shows.
That was very interesting because after a few rounds in that fight, Ryan Garcia's left hook was just completely removed. It had no effect on the fight anymore. He couldn't hit him with it.
Well, here's the thing: if you keep doing something over and over again, even if it is a big weapon for you, an elite fighter will start timing it and he'll start, being able to take it away from you if you keep showing it too much.
Yeah.
But if
Hmm.
you hide it a little better and you dress it up a little better with other things, then they don't see it as much, and they don't have the ability to time it and take it away from you as much.
Hmm.
So everybody knows that that's his big weapon. So I just, some people say that he did good early. He may have won the first round or whatever, but I just feel like that he showed Tank too much early, and it cost him big in the fight.
Yes, yes, that's what happened. Listen, Steven, this guy, Oscar Duarte from Mexico, it's obvious that he's very strong physically. He's very aggressive. He seems to fight in the same manner in each fight, but it's obvious that his biggest strength is his physicality. He hits hard, but he doesn't seem to be the fastest of guys when he's attacking. And I was looking at his power and trying to compare it to Ryan's power. His power is different. He has more of the thudding. Every punch seems to be hard. It moves you back. But the strange thing is that in several of his fights, he seems to be hitting guys with many punches for several rounds before he finally knocks them out. It's weird because when you're looking at him, when he's punching, he looks like he's punching very hard. But he fought a guy called Mark Bernaldez, and he hit him with many shots until the corner stopped it or the referee just said he had enough, but he was still standing on his feet. With Ryan Garcia, it's different. His power is more. How would you describe Ryan Garcia's power?
Shocking and sudden.
Mm-hmm.
It's very electric.
Yes.
Power is an interesting thing in boxing because the person that punches the hardest, that doesn't mean that that person will score the most knockouts. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
times, knockouts they can depend on your stamina, like how long can you go and keep the pressure on the guy. But one of the things that I noticed with guys like that is um, another major factor in knockouts is, do you hit people with shots they don't see?
Mm-hmm.
That usually causes the brutal knock because they don't have time to brace for it, where they can't like
Mm-hmm.
sit down on the punch and they don't see it coming. The punch that you don't see is the most brutal punch in boxing.
Mm-hmm.
A guy who can punch with you. So Ryan Garcia, I think he's a really, really good puncher. But his real main gift is that he can hit you with a shot that you never see coming, and he can kind of punch
Mm-hmm.
with you, which allows it to have a double effect. Javante Davis
He
is really,
seems to be
really
able
good.
to do that. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
he has really good eyes where he can punch exactly while you're punching. And when you're punching, that leaves you open, and he can hit you with a shot where you know that you don't see and that you can't brace for. So I
And
feel
those
like that
punches
that's
are
a
very dangerous.
yes, I feel like that's a much better gift than just a guy that just has blunt trauma. Because the guy that just is hitting you with the blunt trauma, he can hurt you. But as you
Yeah.
say, it takes him a little while longer because the opponents get the brace for the shot. So it's a little different, I don't even always judge power on KO percentage because a lot
No.
goes into that. But there is different types of power. And Ryan Garcia, he can shock you. He can hit you with a shot that you never see coming. He has really good eyes and reflexes where he
Yes.
knows how to punch while you're punching.
He was saying, Stephen, the other week, he was describing some of his knockouts. He said that how he experiences himself. He says that he sees the other guys when it's happening in slow motion. He sees them throwing the right hand, how he describes it, very slowly, and he comes with his left hook.
I can see that. I can see that. Ryan Garcia is a gifted puncher. He just has
Mm-hmm.
to get some other things down in his career because he's a very gifted puncher. I really do believe that he has some of the same traits that Nonito Donaire had coming up where they're electric
Mm-hmm.
punchers, but Nonito Donaire is a more complete fighter. But he
Yes,
has those same traits where he can kind of throw that left hook right in the
there
middle
are
of when you're punching.
similarities. Yes.
Yeah, he's a very gifted puncher. He's a very gifted offensive fighter. He just has to round his game out with different areas. Hopefully, Derek can do that for him.
Yes. Yes. Um, Oscar Duarte, I saw in some of his fights, he likes to attack. He comes in and out. He does it several times. He'll throw a 1-2, take one step back, come with two other shots, one step back, two other shots. But I noticed as he is doing this sometimes, the first attack, he'll come in very disciplined behind his guard. He'll throw one or two, three punches, take a step back, and as he's doing it again and again and again, his hands seems to be dropping from the position, and I just feel like there will be openings. Would you say that, Stephen?
Yes. Any fighter that's very, very aggressive and busy with Ryan Garcia, you have to be defensively responsible because he's
Mm-hmm.
going to hit you. So, it may come down to Duarte's chin and his defensive responsibility.
Yes, and Oscar Duarte, I saw that he said that for this camp, he has been working a lot on the speed. He would like to be faster, and that tells me that they obviously think that Ryan Garcia is very fast and they're trying to match him. But you can't just do that in one camp. You can't just do it at all if somebody is much faster. Right, Steven?
Um, you can improve your timing. You can improve your speed. I don't know what he's been doing, so I can't really, say, but it's definitely something that you can improve upon. Now, how much? That's
Yes,
the question.
of course.
I have no
Yeah, how much?
idea how much it is. Like that's hard to quantify with him just saying it. That's what we were working on. But you definitely can improve your timing, and you can go over certain things with your pad routine to
Yeah.
kind of like emulate Ryan Garcia. And they say
Mm-hmm.
time and beat speed, but it does help if you're also fast. But the most important
Yeah.
thing about that is that you have to be fearless when it comes to getting hit, because Ryan Garcia
Mm-hmm.
appears to be the sharper fighter. So he has to be
Yes.
fearless in terms of, he has to understand he's going to take some big punches from Ryan Garcia, but he has to be
Yeah.
fearless in the capacity of, I still have to, get mines in. There's been a lot of great fighters who really weren't speed demons, and they've been able
Mm-hmm.
to beat much faster fighters. Like we saw Miguel Cotto, he was able to beat a really fast fighter in Zab Judah, with
Yeah.
timing, not being afraid to get hit, being able to stick his nose in there, being able to Tom Zab Judah's attack. He also was able to beat another guy who was considered to be really fast, and Sergio Martinez. So
Mm-hmm.
it happens, it just depends on what Duarte's working on.
Yeah. Yeah. Then there is the lone loss on his record. He 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, he lost to Adrian Estrella. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him. 28-3. He lost a decision to him, so that shows you that he can be beat by someone at that level. Ryan Garcia is still above that level.
Yes. Yes, he is. But we got to see how Garcia's confidence looks, and we got to see what's going on with Garcia behind the scenes as far as his promoters and stuff. That's a real thing,
Yes,
and any little distraction in boxing can affect you. Anything. This is a game of inches. Timing, anything can affect you.
definitely. I saw the press conference the other day. That is a little bit alarming for Ryan Garcia. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how it will affect him in the fight, or if it will affect him.
We're gonna have to wait to see.
Yeah, yeah. But still, so when concluding this fight, for all of Garcia's flaws, he still has a lot of talent. He really does. I remember when you told me when he was fighting Luke Campbell, you just described to me how his talent level is just way above Luke Campbell, despite Campbell having the pedigree to win a, Olympic gold medal.
Yes, I did. I remember that
I
fight. I
remember
never
you
was
knew
like
in that
super.
fight. You were just very confident, Stephen, in that fight that Luke Campbell
Yeah,
wasn't going to be able
there's
to beat
certain
him.
fights that you can see as a coach or as somebody with boxing knowledge. You can see it, and then there's other fights that are a little bit harder to tell. But Ryan Garcia was riding high at the time. He was undefeated, and quite frankly, nothing against Luke Campbell, but there was a lot of UK Olympians that came out of that 2012 class that they just didn't do it for me. A lot of that had to do. I'm not saying he didn't deserve his gold medal, but a lot of
Yeah,
times
it
when the
was in
Olympic
London.
game, yeah, a lot of times when the Olympic games come to your city or your country,
Yeah.
you get a lot of things done. I just never, Luke Campbell never really knocked my socks off, to be honest. So I
I
never was as
understand.
high on him as everybody else, and thinking that he was like, could be the guy like Ryan Garcia or one of the elite guys like that. I just didn't look at
Hmm.
him like that.
I get it. So with this fight, Steven, would you be satisfied with picking Ryan Garcia to win the fight, just money line, or would you like to look closer to? Would you be confident in that he either stops him or wins a decision, or would you just be confident that he wins the fight?
I'm going to piggyback off of you. I'm not as familiar with Duarte as you are, so I'll kind of like flow with whatever you say. But I wouldn't be confident. I don't want to pick a specific outcome for a guy who has had documented mental health issues and just coming off of a knockout defeat. So if we're gonna
Hmm.
pick him, let's just pick him on the money line and just be safe.
Yes, yes, I agree with that, especially because I don't see the real value in picking him to win by knockout because it seems to be over expected, and I'm not so you can't be 100% sure. Duarte is very very strong, so I'm content with just picking Ryan Garcia to win the fight. I believe he will win the fight.
Okay, we could go with
So
that.
that's the pick for Ryan Garcia versus Oscar Duarte. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to our show. I hope you enjoyed our previews and our breakdowns and the picks. Please subscribe to our channel to always get notified first when we upload new videos. It will help us grow the channel. Thank you very much. See you next time.